welcome to another Fight in the Night review. This one is one that took place on the prelim card last night at UFC 224, and it was between Royval and Matt Schnell. It was at the Footprint Arena in Phoenix, Arizona, and surprisingly, I did sort of make the call the other day that it was going to be the main event between Charles Oliveira versus Justin Gaethje, and it wasn't, and I was quite surprised by that, but we have a fight to talk about, a round to talk about. I did almost let that slip, I'm letting it slip now, because yeah, this fight ended the first, but a lot of stuff happened in the time between, so let's just get to it. And the fight begins, and before I actually talk about the round, I would like to say my condolences for Matt Schnell, having lost his mother. He fought very emotionally as a result of that, but you can't really blame the guy because that is a very, very difficult loss to go through, and yeah, anyway, the fight itself, the two do touch gloves, and Matt is actually landing some pretty heavy hits from the start. Not something I expect from him. I mostly know him as more of a jiu-jitsu guy, but he is actually throwing some pretty heavy hands, and Brandon is being caught quite early. Matt's landing some solid counters, he lands a bunch of really big rights, and Brandon does land a good couple of combos that don't really stun Matt, but they push him back a little bit, but Matt keeps pushing forward, and eventually he drops Brandon with a big right. And then he goes for like a sort of takedown. Well, he's already dropped him, so he just jumps on top of him. Lands a few more strikes, however his right arm is stuck under Brandon's back, and it's very difficult for him to move it out. And he decides to keep it there on purpose so he can keep a top position. However, Brandon sees this coming, and he manages to grab Matt's left arm and attempts an omoplata. But Brandon doesn't get it, and Matt manages to counter that and tries to go for a guillotine of sorts as they're sort of like kneeling up again. However, that doesn't work. Brandon takes down Matt, Brandon catches Matt in a guillotine, and Matt taps with both hands. That's your lot. That's it. It ended in 2 minutes and 14 seconds, so now I've got to talk about it. I'll admit, I do like me a good round one banger, and I think there are a few things as cathartic as seeing a submission Hail Mary when you're on the back foot, because part of me feels like if this lasted the entire round that Matt would have won. However, he did make a kind of a crucial mistake in following Brandon to the ground, because from what little I've seen of Brandon, he is quite good on the ground, and he managed to get out of an admittedly quite tight guillotine attempt, and even when Matt tried to shift that into a Dawg choke, Brandon managed to keep his cool and managed to counter it into the guillotine of his own, which won him the fight. Weirdly, for a fight that didn't really last long, it managed to pack a lot more into it than Rob Font versus Chito Vera from last week. However, yeah, it was very, very entertaining, and I do like a good Hail Mary submission attempt. I like it better when it's done in like the last round or one of the later rounds, but I'm not going to complain. You know, no complaints about the winner. I like Brandon, I like Matt a lot too, and again, condolences to Matt. It won't be in my top 10 of the year because it did end quite early, and I'm not really a big fan of fights that usually end in the first round, although I do like a good Hail Mary attempt, especially with it being a submission. Not just that, but a submission that the opponent had tried before. I do like that sort of psychology aspect to it, but even though it wasn't a really long fight, they managed to pack a lot into it, and it was very, very fun, so go check it out for yourself. It really won't take up too much of your time. So that'll about do it for this video. Not an overly long one, but tomorrow's video will be even shorter, as that'll be the very brief history of the strokes, and then Tuesday, the day after that, the full backtracking episode of the strokes, then Tuesday night PUW versus AVW, and then the next video after that might be another music of the week on Thursday. But besides that, not really many plans. However, I'm hoping to knuckle down and get the rest of the Day of the Tentacle Let's Play edited, because I can't wait to start the Sunset Overdrive Let's Play on Friday. That's going to be really good, and I'm just glad I managed to find a way to actually restart that game, because they never really managed to fix that, so I had to do some digging to do that. But that's for then. As for now, as always, thank you for watching. You're awesome. Bye bye.